We back. Mercy Sports Talk in the building. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the videos. And as we know, tomorrow Lions play the Vikings, and I believe that's going to be a good indicator if the Lions going to be buyers or they just going to stay reserved at the trade deadline. I think if they beat the Vikings tomorrow, I think they at least think they got a chance at winning the division or making the playoffs as a wild card team. Okay? But if they lose, I don't think they're going to believe they are contenders, and I don't think they'll buy. I think they'll just sit there and continue to try to build the team up from the draft, which is the proper way. Win, lose, or draw tomorrow. I don't think I would trade assets unless it's a Von Miller type of player. At this point, you know, the Los Angeles Rams traded 2 number ones for the next 5 years. They saying they don't have a number 1 draft pick, and that's eventually going to hurt them down the line. You know, especially if they don't win the Super Bowl, it's going to hurt even more. But the Atlanta Falcons have made Vic Beasley available and said he's available via trade. Now, Vic Beasley is owed only $12.8 million this year. We coming up at the halfway point this year already, so most of that salary has already been paid out. He has no contract after this year. He'll be a free agent. I believe the Lions still could franchise tag him if need be. And you know, he only got 1.5 sacks this year. Now, I don't watch a whole lot of Atlanta football, Falcon football, and I do know a lot of the fans saying it ain't Matt Ryan's fault. I don't know whose fault it is. At the end of the day, Matt Ryan sucked. He got Julio Jones and all them weapons, and they still not winning. Now, defensively, like I said, I don't know what's going on. Vic Beasley is he's a good pass rusher. Usually he brings some electricity off the edge. They got the McKinley guy to UCLA a few years ago, so maybe they feel comfortable with him and they don't want to pay Vic Beasley. Vic Beasley only 27 years old. I'm not sure when he turned 28. But I think he'd be a solid fit for the Detroit Lions if they win Sunday, or if they believe they are NFC contenders, NFC North contenders. I think he a good fit. I think obviously Patricia, he loved those bigger defensive ends. You know, he liked the Ninka, what kind of those Trey Flowers type of guys that's strong against the run, that's strong against the pass. I mean, strong, rushing the passer. He really don't. In New England, I really don't remember them having a whole lot of twitchy guys. You know, even Chandler Jones, he was a good athlete, but he wasn't he ain't like that explosive edge rusher. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like, you know, Vic Beasley would be a good guy off the edge. You know, if they need be, he can stand up and rush the passer off the edge. And in the right situation, I just think Trey Flowers needs something to complement him. You know what I'm saying? I think Vic Beasley would be a good compliment. Now, what he want on the market, I don't think he deserve to get nowhere near what DeMarcus Lawrence and Trey Flowers got on the market. You know what I'm saying? And also, they said Bud Dupree, he got 3 sacks already this year from the Steelers, might be available. But, you know, depending on what he want, I think that's a good one. He young. And also, you know, I think they could be waiting to see what Deshaun Hand does to really lift that line up, and he was expected to take a huge step this year, and I believe that loss has become more bigger than we thought it was, because Flowers is not, and I said this again, he is not whatever they gave him, $56 million in guaranteed money. He ain't that type of defensive end. All right, and I don't believe nobody on the market was going to pay him that, and I stand by that. But he a good player. When you talking about guys that's getting paid like top defensive end money or close to it, you know what I'm saying? You talking about a guy that got to go out there and give you at least 10, 12 sacks a year. And then people around you got to be able to get sacks, because they paying more attention. They slime protection. They doubling you. They chipping you. You know, I understand he had the whole shoulder injury and thing of that nature, but Trey Flowers is a complimentary player. But I also think that with Deshaun Hand coming back, and if they could add a Vic Beasley or they could add a Von Miller, I think you can see him get up there and really have a lot of hell-raising plays. But I do think the Lions need that extra pass rush, especially the way they playing defense. They playing a ton of prevent. You know what I'm saying? They playing a ton of coverage, They only rushing 3. They might be rushing 4. Pascaloni and Matt Patricia is abstaining from blitzing. They refusing to do so. So at the end of the day, if you want to rush 4, then you're gonna need a beastie defensive line. You can't just get those big defensive linemen that don't have no speed and that's just, you know, they balance. They can play the run. They can play the pass. You gonna need some speed demons off the edge. And Devin Kennard, he okay, but his primary responsibility is not to rush the passer. You know what I'm saying? His primary responsibility, he got dropped. He dropping coverage some. He do a lot of other things as well. So I think Vic Beasley would be a good look for the Lions, you know, if they want to be buyers at the trade deadline. Personally, I will wait and see what the game look like for the Vikings before I make a determining factor, which obviously they will. But if they want something like a first, second, third round draft pick, I might be cool with trading a 4th, 5th, 6th for Vic Beasley. You know what I'm saying? But if they want something in the first 2, 3 early in the draft, I don't think I could accommodate them, especially with a guy that don't have no contractual obligation past this year. And depending on what the franchise tag for him is, and I think it's like what top 5, the average of the top 5 or top 3 of this position for the first year. I don't know if I would be comfortable taking that gamble, but I definitely think he bolsters the defensive line, at least from the pass rushing situation. Now, the rushing attack issue, that's just due to lack of depth, to be honest. You know, the Lions lack depth there. They do. They lack depth with Mike Daniels not being there, Deshaun Hand not being there. And they really got Damon Harrison and nobody else. Especially the defensive tackle position. They thought Daniels was going to be able to be that all-purpose guy, could play the run and rush. And he just ain't healthy. And now you see why Green Bay let him go. But personally, they need help in the defensive tackle position. Even when Hand come back, they need more depth there. But I like Vic Beasley. But let me know what you think about the Lions possibly trading for Vic Beasley. Or they could wait till he hit the free agent market. Don't seem like the Atlanta Falcons willing to tag him or pay him. So they could wait a year. But I know a lot of the hard opinions going to come after tomorrow, depending on what happened with the Lions and the Vikings down at Ford Field. Don't forget, we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out to the email if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. Keep sharing the videos, man. We'll make a donation and link subscription. Best way to donate, share the video. Don't forget, check out the channel out, Goodfellas Sports TV. One time, we gone.